Hello and welcome to a new video. This week we released a new feature, Field Semantics, which is a major change in how Datacake will look, feel and work in the future, and it's there to make your lives dealing with IoT sensors easier, scaling IoT projects more easy, faster and with less work required. And it's all about giving context to the data on your Datacake workspaces. To explain the concept of field semantics, let's take a look at this workspace here. This is a workspace with a couple of devices. They are measuring fill level around the city and they are delivering different kinds of data. And this is usually how everything looks in Datacake. You can see the device list, but if you take a closer look, you can see that there's now a new tab on the device list, which is overview. Of course, we have the grid view, which shows all important parameters. We have a map, which shows the distribution of the sensors on the map. And then there's overview. And now if I click on this, you can already see that we've got a couple of new things here. We can see the total devices, online versus offline devices, and the devices that were active within the last 24 hours. You can even click on one of those cards and then see a modal with the corresponding devices for this group. There's recently active devices and offline as well here as a table. Now, field semantics is something that brings an overview about the data context on these overviews as well. And in order to show you how this works, let's switch the workspace and go into one of the workspace, which is Simon's house. So more or less a couple of sensors around my place here. And you can see on the overview, we already have temperature, humidity, soil moisture, CO2 levels, energy consumption, and everything directly as cards. And you can even click on one of those cards and then you can see, okay, all the humidities here in my workspace, all the temperatures in the workspace. That's the concept of field semantics. Let's switch back to the other workspace and I'm going to show you how you can leverage the field semantics for your devices. Actually, we merged and migrated a couple of or all the products on Datacake, and you probably already see them, but if you have created a new device from scratch and you want to leverage field semantics for you, this is how you do it. Simply click on any of those devices here on the list. They all belong to the same product. And actually for field semantics, it's not required that they belong to the same product, but let's go into the configuration and let's click on fields. And in fields, you can see the usual field table here. And there's now role and semantics. The roles stay as they are, but we have semantics on top. Now, this is temperature, and we can go into edit field, and then on the edit modal, where we can update the field, you can see the semantic. So we set this to temperature. Now the platform knows that this data here, stored in this field on the database, is actually representing a temperature. Let's go ahead and this one is humidity, so we have a semantic for humidity. Then we have, for example, the fill level. Let's go into the settings and select fill level. There's a couple of other semantics available. Right now it's numerical semantics only. We are working on providing Boolean semantics and a couple of other extra options for semantics. Now that we changed this, let's go back onto our devices overview. And now what you can see is that the sensor metrics, so the semantics, actually arrived here on the dashboard. You can see the temperature. If I click on this, I can see the minimum, maximum, and the average temperature. I can see the fill level directly and then also sorted from highest to lowest or lowest to highest, from however you want it. And we can see the humidity as well. And this is basically the concept of field semantics. This is just the first start. We are going to introduce these semantics on dashboards as well. That means you can create KPI dashboards, like how you need the KPIs, filter them, via tags or even device groups. One of the things that we're also working on is that in the future, in the very near future, you will be able to create device groups. And this is especially powerful with semantics. Let me switch to a different workspace. This is a workspace about indoor climate temperature sensors, similar to the REC wireless powered sensors here that can measure CO2, temperature, humidity. And let's assume you would place them in a building and you have like 52 sensors like in this workspace in here. Now on overview, the field semantics, they all represent the semantics across all of these devices. Now, something cool about the semantics, if I click on CO2, you can see that we have some special views for dedicated semantics, and this is the concept that we will introduce on all the other semantics as well. But what we will bring in the future is device groups. So you can go into the list, select a couple of devices, assign a tag, and then you can create folders on the sidebar. And then these folders filter the amount of devices and also filter the semantic views. That means you can actually create overviews for rooms, for floors, for areas, and then use the semantics to automatically create the KPIs and stats for these rooms, floors, whatever kind of groups you want to do. And this will also then be carried over to dashboard. That means you can create KPI dashboards using semantics. Again, if you want to actually upgrade your devices to use semantics, if you still don't see them, go into your devices, click on configuration, access the field section, and simply assign the semantic to any of those fields. This brings the features into the actual overviews, and you can basically see the stats on your workspace and later on in groups directly, including the online-offline devices stats as shown before. Once more, let's go into my workspace, and once more to show this, because I think it's a beautiful way. If you have, for example, a gateway directly added to the platform, you buy a couple of CO2 sensors and then you place them inside your building, whatever, and in the workspace you can directly see the CO2 average level space and then later on in groups, and directly visually see if everything is fine or not, or if you need to do semantics. It's available right now. So you probably already checked this out or seen it on the dashboard on your workspace. If you have any questions concerning field semantics, let us know. We are happy to receive any feedback. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.